Hi Leute und willkommen zurück zu Genshin Impact. Wir machen weiter mit dem Event beziehungsweise mit der Event Story. Dort haben wir den zweiten Abend. Äh, 7 bis 9 Uhr sollen wir einstellen.
Because it was so late. Well, Miko and the...
Wir wurden ja zum Schluss von so einem Blitz-Samurai, Geist, Dämon, whatever angegriffen.
Are we too early? Didn't Ayato say he...
Did you hear? Someone encountered a doppelganger here last night.
A doppelganger? You mean like a doppelganger of themselves? Or some...
You know what they say. Anyone who sees their doppelganger will be replaced by them within 3 days.
That's just a folktale.
Doppelgangers? That's a common folk tale in Inazuma, isn't it? Yeah. It's a pretty famous one, huh? A friend being replaced by a complete stranger? Also, the timing is a bit too coincidental, don't you think? Could it be related to what we saw last night? The whole doppelganger thing sounds kind of like what Sayu was talking about with Bunshin Phantasm. Maybe something went wrong with Kichiboshi's power? Well, thinking about it isn't going to get us anywhere. Why don't we go check on Sayu's team? Huh? They're not here yet. Well, if it is Sayu we're talking about, it's definitely possible. Weird. Is he here to work on the equipment? But he doesn't look like any of the workers we saw yesterday. And it doesn't seem like he's here for the games. He snuck away again! Do you think... He's constantly looking back. Paimon's calling it now. Something fishy is going... Good point. He could be on his way to meet someone.
Reporting back, ma'am. Nothing suspicious to note at the Bunshin Phantasm booth. It's possible there's no connection to the incident from last night.
Sarah.
Sarah? Hey, Zoe! What's going on here?
Forgive me, ma'am. I have failed as a detective. I did not realize someone was on my tail.
Das war der große auffällige Hut vielleicht?
So, what's going on? What are you investigating? Must be serious if Heizo's involved. Huh? What orders? You really can't tell us anything?
An astute observation, traveler. Tell him the truth.
Hä, sie hat uns doch dabei beobachtet, wie wir gegen den komischen Albtraum, wie sie gesagt hat, gekämpft hat, oder nicht? Hab ich das falsch in Erinnerung? Das war doch, dass sie das zum Schluss gesehen hat. Warum sollte sie das vor uns geheim halten?
You recognized me with a single glance? It matters not. I am certain the person standing before us is our friend. His gaze, his presence, his mastery of several types of elemental energy. There is no mistake. And we need his help.
Wie gefällt dir mein Pyro? Cool, ne? Es wurde eine Ermittlungstruppe geschickt, um ein Stück Land zu vermessen. Gestern ging bei der Tenryo-Verwaltung die Meldung ein, dass die Mitglieder bewusstlos auf dem Feld gefunden wurden. Die haben gesoffen und geschlafen, hallo? Darüber hinaus schienen die Mitglieder in einen endlosen Albtraum gefangen. Ja, Kopfschmerzen und so weiter. Übelkeit.
No, please! Stay away!
Ach, die wurden von dem verprügelt, den wir besiegt haben. Wir haben dort, wo sie gefunden wurden, vereinzelte Spuren von Yokai-Kraft entdeckt. Wir folgten den Spuren und landeten hier, direkt außerhalb des Festgeländes. Wollen das Fest absagen? Leider ist das nicht so einfach. Ihr habt die Gerüchte über die Doppelgänger schon gehört, ja? Wir vermuten, dass der Täter die Fähigkeit hat, seine Gestalt zu verändern, sodass er nach Belieben Fehlinformationen verbreiten kann. Möglicherweise hat er bereits das Festgelände infiltriert. Wenn wir das Fest absagen, geben wir ihm vielleicht die Chance, inmitten des Chaos zu entkommen. Schon die kleinste Aktion könnte ihn alarmieren. Die Abriegelung des Festgeländes könnte ihn zu einem Angriff provozieren, was eine Gefahr für die Öffentlichkeit darstellen würde. Wenn keine Öffentlichkeit da ist, weil alle Stände leer sind im Moment. Hä?
You're right. That's a big risk.
Also wenn da jetzt immer irgendwie NPCs die ganze Zeit langlaufen würden bei den Eventständen, dann könnte ich das verstehen, dass sie das so argumentieren wollen. Aber das ist ja leer. Du gehst da, um zu spielen, irgendein Spiel, gehst du ja an ein Schild. Da sind ja keine Leute. Das könnte man anders rechtfertigen, also. Aber ich.
The purpose of this festival is to bring humans and yokai together. We cannot allow the culprit to endanger anyone.
Eine sehr gerechtfertigte. Warum lese ich das überhaupt vor? Ich weiß doch, dass es eine sehr berechtigte Sorge. Letzte Nacht haben wir eine Gruppe von Soldaten auf das Festgelände geschickt. Sie werden verdeckt bleiben, um die Dinge im Auge zu behalten. Wir haben auch mehrere nahegelegene Straßen unter dem Vorwand von Bauarbeiten abgesperrt, um die Menschen so weit wie möglich fernzuhalten. Sogar der allmächtige Shogun hat sich zur Aufgabe gemacht, die ganze Nacht in der Gegend zu patrouillieren.
Fortunately, no one else has been harmed.
Ah, so the thunder we heard was you!
Ich entschuldige mich für unser Versagen, Shogun. Ihr hättet nicht eingreifen
On the
müssen.
contrary, it was my decision. I was unable to capture the culprit last night, so I left to discuss a plan with Miko. I did not show myself once I saw you were safe, and for that, I apologize.
Speaking of Miko, where is she?
She is investigating the trace of yokai power found at the scene. Though it fades in and out, it never strays from Mount Yogo.
Das heißt, wenn der Täter das Festgelände infiltriert hat, muss er immer noch in der Nähe sein. Die einzigen Leute, die sich gestern Abend in der Nähe des Geländes aufhielten, waren das Personal und die Teilnehmer, die im Schrein übernachteten.
Miko is working with the Kamisato siblings to verify the identities of the staff members. They should be done soon. As for the contestants, that inquiry must be performed by someone else. The Tenryo Commission is too conspicuous. But as the judge of the competition, you can ask questions without arousing suspicion.
Okay, so you need us to talk to the teams.
Precisely. Traveler, I understand these people are your friends, but if one of them has indeed been displaced by a yokai, they could be in grave danger. Thank you.
What are you guys gonna do next?
Tja, auf diese Weise können wir vielleicht herausfinden. Also müssen wir wohl einen Weg finden, uns in den Veranstaltungsort zu schleichen. Es wäre besser, wenn wir vor Ort wären, wenn etwas schief geht. Genau. Der Traveler mit x vielen Elementen, die er nutzen kann, um Gegner zu besiegen, schafft das nicht alleine dafür Sicherheit zu sorgen. Ich fürchte, dafür ist der Shogun eine viel zu verehrte Figur. Wenn sie auf dem Gelände eintrifft, wird das sicherlich für Aufsehen
Worry
sorgen.
not. Miko and I discussed that issue. She claims to have a plan. The preparations are underway as...
One of her genius plans, huh?
Indeed. If you learn any details of said plan, I would like to know what I'm getting myself in...
Okay, dann mal sehen. Da. Also.
Okay, so where do we start? We need to ask questions to figure out if there's an imposter, but we can't arouse suspicion.
Okay. Also, wir sollen jetzt mit den Teams reden, damit wir rausfinden können, ob irgendeiner von den Teammitgliedern der Doppelgänger Yuugei ist. Es sind keine Besucher hier. Doch, hinten, die da vorhin gequatscht haben in der Story. Wir könnten den trotzdem einfach jagen, auch wenn sie gerade so eine Geschichte erzählt haben. Hey, wir können den nicht jagen. Was ist, wenn er plötzlich irgendwelche Besucher angreift? Mäßig. Hier ist niemand. Stellt doch wenigstens ein paar NPCs hier hin, wenn ihr so eine Story erzählt. Sayo, bist du ein böser Yuugei?
So tired. I don't feel rested at all. How come you two have so much energy? Didn't you...
Das ist nicht nett, es zu einem Freund zu sagen. Sayo ist wahrscheinlich nur müde, weil sie gestern die ganzen Ideen hatte. Brauchst du eine Pause, Sayo? Ich kann in der Zwischenzeit schon mal über die letzten Herausforderungen nachdenken. Es ist eine Ewigkeit her, dass wir etwas zusammen unternommen haben, das Spaß gemacht hat. Du musst genug Energie haben, um sowas zu genießen.
It's okay. I can push through. Sayu and Yoimiya seem the same as ever. Ichibushi too. How should we test them? Oh, good idea! Doppelgangers only mimic appearances. They wouldn't... White fur! Yellow fur! Yeah, well, the traveler's judging... Yeah, if the people in charge are here early, that usually means there's been some kind of emergency. Oh, no, it's just... the traveler... well, it's... your game! Playing your game yesterday? So we wanted to come early to reminisce of... White fur acting Huh? Why are you bringing that up all of a sudden? Well, that was my bad. I tried to turn into a barrel, but my tail was sticking out. So you found me immediately. But this time, I'm not in charge of turning into things anymore, so it should be fine. I think. That one shouldn't be on me. I didn't realize I was tricked until later. Did all that work and didn't even get to nap. Really shouldn't have taken that order. Based on what happened, I guess You could say that.
Mujina is all red.
No, I'm not. And I'm not a Mujina. Oh, we should get out of your hair then. Good luck.
Bye, White Fur. Bye, Yellow Fur. Come.
Wow, we've had so many adventures, huh? You don't even realize it until someone brings up the past. Oh yeah, totally. It was... Anyway, Paimon didn't pick up on anything suspicious from that team. If anything, we were the weird ones forcing... Okay, let's ask about the creative process behind the game and confirm their identities that way. Paimon saw Toma's team show up just now.
Okay. Toma hat die anderen hier. Ja. Die vom letzten Fest.
Hey Toma, we were hoping to learn a bit more about the philosophy behind your game. Is now a good time? Philosophy?
Oh, Boss can explain that.
Boss and Shosei were up super late last night coming up with ideas.
And he's back at it this morning, as energetic as ever. Boss is the best.
Time for an interview.
Into you?
Hold on. You can't just ask a simple question, traveler. Watch and learn.
Oh nein, warum hat sie diese Brille wieder auf?
We'd love to learn more about your design approach and strategic vision. What will be the project's main draw, and how will it deliver emotional value to you?
Paimon hat vergessen, für wen Toma arbeitet.
Impressive! And...
A nice one, Boss.
Fixer is a tough nut to crack, huh? Shoot! Paimon can't pick apart an answer she doesn't understand. Whoa, not a single stumper.
Yes, Boss Tom.
Well, Toma's answers were all very genuine. Paimon didn't notice plus he was with Shosei until late last night. Kozo and his two friends were together the whole time, too. They would have noticed if someone was acting, so we're back at square one. That just leaves Kokomi's team, right?
Huh? White Fur and Yellow Fur are here early.
You're here alone? Huh. Where are Kokomi and the others?
Don't know about Great Yokai, but Soul Lady is behind you.
Soul Lady? Oh, as in Soul of the Deep. Okay. Wait, did you say behind us? Kokomi! A little warning next time! Energy?
Oh, in a tree? Dry berry?
Oh, sorry.
Koban is a criminal?
No, of course not. You're in the clear.
In the clear. Good.
What about Mizuki? Where did she go?
Something tells me a certain someone is missing me.
Huh? Miko!
Hello, traveler. Paimon.
Yes, I left the rest to the young fellow from the Kamisato clan. At least for now, there's nothing suspicious to note.
That means the culprit didn't manage to sneak in. That's a relief.
Just like that, you let down your guard. And all it took was for me to wear her face.
The culprit? It's you!
Oh, greedy little thing. Oh, it's getting harder and harder to tease you, traveler.
Can you stop with the teasing then? Even I'm reaching my limit.
500 years and you're still not used to it? Sounds like you need more practice.
At least spare me for the day. I can't take the mental torment right now. I'm running on fumes. Investigated the shogunate officials' nightmares. Analyzed the traces of yokai power around Mount Yogo. Oh, and worked on some new game stages, of course.
All in one night?
Well, I didn't want someone to ruin the Mikawa Flower Festival. But I also wanted to do my best for my part of the festival. Besides, I've talked to many patients who worked multiple jobs just to make ends meet. Compared to that, complaining about one night of hard work is a little unreasonable, don't you think? You're very persuasive, Kokomi. It would seem you also have a talent for clinical psychology. I'll leave it to you two then.
Sweet dreams! Mizuki really cares about the festival, huh? She's putting so much pressure.
Perhaps she's reminded of the festivals of the past when I was just a kid, and Mizuki a young Baku. We would rush past the other yokai, desperate to get the first piece of fried tofu from the ramen stand. It would seem she hasn't forgotten, even after 500 years. You know, there's something to be said for knowing when to keep your mouth shut, little one. Well, enough about the past. We must focus on the matter at hand.
But you didn't notice anything suspicious, right? That should mean the culprit didn't
That's one possibility. The other is that the culprit's transformation is even more convincing than we... In that case, we need a detective with a more professional skill set. Or we need to find a way to provoke them and get their facade to crack.
But that sounds dangerous.
If the culprit is deep in disguise, a slight provocation won't completely What we need is to create reasonable doubt. Make the culprit question whether their cover is blown. Oh, A didn't tell you? Allow me to Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Mikawa Flower Festival, it is my honor to announce an esteemed guest from Tenshukaku has agreed to take part in this year's festival. Please welcome Her Excellency, the Almighty Narukami Ogosho, God of Thunder.
So this was your plan, Miko?
Well, not bad, right?
Wow, that was quite the entrance. Paimon can't believe she agreed to that. you clue us in earlier? We wasted all that time asking pointless questions.
Okay. Ich spekuliere. Sarah ist der Doppelgänger. Weil Sarah ist ja im ersten Part zu dem Notruf gerufen worden und sagt eigentlich, dass sie gleich wiederkommt. Nee, warte mal. Sagt sie, dass sie gleich wiederkommt oder dass es vielleicht nicht lange dauern wird? Aber man sieht sie jetzt erst am nächsten Tag wieder. Und sie hat gesagt, diese Raiden-Figur, die wir gerade gesehen haben, braucht sie nicht. Sie hat 5 Stück oder irgendwie so. Aber eigentlich ist sie ja ein Fan. Und eigentlich würde sie, glaube ich, ja jedes Jahr die Figur haben wollen, wo es die gibt. Wir machen jetzt hier ein bisschen mit Sightseeing, gucken uns alles an, um zu gucken, ob da jetzt irgendwer sich verdächtig verhält.
Another day of hard work. Where did the time go? Huh? When did A get ahead of us? Let's catch up.
Was wäre halt für mich logisch, Sarah geht halt dahin zu den Schwierigkeiten, wird da von dem Doppelgänger besiegt und dann ausgetauscht. Aber mal schauen. Wird wahrscheinlich dann erst im letzten Teil.
Shogun, glory to your everlasting reign.
This doll looks familiar. Yet it would seem...
Ah, you must be thinking of Tomoki. He wasn't feeling well today, so I'm filling it.
I see. Yet, you remind me of someone. A Doshin from the Tenryo Commission.
Oh.
What are you looking at?
The food offerings. Oh. Working? I see. I appreciate your dedication.
Of course. It's an honor to serve such esteemed guests.
No need for formalities. I'll take 3 orders of
right away.
3 orders? So Paimon gets one
Yes. I wanted to thank you for accompanying me. I have my reasons for being here, of course. But I would hate to tarnish the festive atmosphere.
Der Grund, warum du hier bist, ist, weil Miko will, dass du mal raus unter Leute kommst.
Indeed. The Mikawa Flower Festival. Hundreds of years have passed since I last partook of the festivities. Much is different this time. The people, the place, the games. Yet, the name endures. And the joy of celebration along with it. I suppose that, in itself, is a form of eternity.
Traveler, Paimon. And the almighty Shogun?
Oh, Mizuki! Looks like you got some much-needed rest.
Yume Mizuki.
Of course. I'm always willing to help. It's my duty. I wish I could have dispelled the nightmares. But this situation is uncharted territory for me.
Even so, relieving the pain of the nightmares is no small feat. You honor the legacy of the Yumeku Ippaku.
So not even Mizuki could fix it? What's going on with this nightmare?
Let's save the difficult questions for later. Actually, I came here to ask you something. Want to come to the Isa bathhouse with me? Most of the contestants will be there. Oh, and don't worry about payment. It's my—
Really? Yes, let's go!
Well, game development isn't easy. Most of the contestants are exhausted and could use a break. You've been under a lot of pressure yourselves with the investigation and all, so I thought you might like to join.
Of course we would! Right, Traveler?
I will remain here. I rarely have time away from Tenshukaku, and I would like to continue perusing the stalls.
Aw, that's too bad.
Ah, I almost forgot. Miko wanted to talk to you, Traveler. I'll take you to her first.
Oh? Well, why don't we all go?
Almighty Shogun, your dango milk is ready.
Oh, delicious.
No need, Shogun. Miko just had some quick things to go over with the judges, that's all. You and Paimon can wait here. We'll only be a minute.
Dann macht das doch nicht so. Ich hasse es. Gerade habe ich noch gedacht, dass es Sarah ist. Jetzt denke ich, dass sie der Doppelgänger ist und dass die echte noch schlafen gegangen ist. Weil Raiden die ganze Zeit so komisch getan hat.
Alright, now we can talk freely.
Oder Raiden ist nicht mehr die echte.
I think something's off with the Shogun. You've been with her the whole day. Have you noticed anything? Exactly. You noticed too. I've witnessed a lot of cases where patients, for a variety of reasons, are unwilling or unable to seek help. Unfortunately, that only exacerbates the problem. Until their emotions become so heavy, even the strongest of people collapse under the weight. I see those warning signs in the Shogun. Humans, yokai, and archons bear the same capacity for emotion, and are naturally susceptible to the same mental turmoil. It's very possible that someone who appears strong on the outside has learned to compartmentalize their negative emotions, and that is far from healthy. Anyway, the quickest route to curing the mind is through the heart. That's where you come in, Traveler. Approaching someone in a professional capacity often makes them more guarded. But don't worry, here, with these 2 special coupons, you can get into Isa Bathhouse after closing.
Finally, you're back! Paimon's had 2 servings of dango milk.
Sorry for the wait. It sounds like the Traveler has other plans, Paimon. So we'll head to the bathhouse on our own.
Huh? You're not coming? Okay. Paimon will bring you back a hot spring egg.
There is no need to stay behind on my behalf. If you leave now, I'm sure you can catch up. What makes you say that? If my presence makes them nervous or impedes their ability to relax, does that not defeat the purpose of going to the hot springs? I already disturbed their progress by coming to the festival. The last thing everyone needs is more distractions. As you know, this body is hardly that fragile. It can operate for another 100 years with no issue. Mortals are weak in body and mind. If there is a choice of who to bear such a burden, naturally that person should be me. What does it matter? The world is not so easily bent to one's will. What clever verbal tricks, Traveler. It appears you've been spending too much time with Miko. You think you can get away with manipulating the Shogun? I wouldn't be so sure. Persistent indeed. Very well. As you proposed, we... Well, shall we head out? All right. No... Steam replete with the scent of orchids. Water that turns the complexion a blushing pink. So, this is a hot spring. Yes, there are royal hot springs near Tenshukaku, but the plans were set in motion only after Hiragi Hiroshi introduced the Snezhnayan blast furnace to Inazuma, and that was 500 years ago. When the project was complete, I was already in the plain of Euthymia. And, naturally, the body of the shogun has no need for such luxuries. The members of the Kanjo Commission were once friends with Makoto and the Kitsune Saigu. Although mere mortals, those who managed to survive back then were special individuals indeed. What makes you say that? Now I see why my officials claim that the hot springs facilitate conversation. Even I find myself divulging more than intended. You're correct. Following the dark disaster 500 years ago, a nightmare engulfed Inazuma. On a battlefield consumed in darkness, our soldiers fought against dark forces, creatures capable of possessing people and trapping them in nightmares. Perhaps not. The battle was intense. Those who stood up in defense of this land knew the chance of survival was slim. In the face of certain death, surely a nightmare is nothing to fear. But what if I told you this? If the person trapped in the nightmare was strong enough to overcome incapacitation, it would become a waking nightmare instead. The person would lose all capacity to distinguish dream from reality, perceiving everything in the real world as a continuation of the war, and every precious thing in life as an enemy to be annihilated. That is a far more painful nightmare. Both Yes. I unleashed Muso no Hitotachi and struck her down. No need. I have no regrets. I know it was the right decision, both for Inazuma's sake and her own. If necessary, I would do it again. Well, it's about time you two showed yourselves, yes?
Oh. Before you say anything, this part wasn't me.
Well, since the cat's out of the bag, how about a hot spring tea party?
Hey!
Nice and warm. No wonder the hot springs relaxed your inhibitions, eh?
So who came up with this idea?
I guess both of us?
Well, I happened to consult a certain clinical psychologist about how to get an old friend to open up. In her expert opinion, doing something new with a trusted companion in a new environment can make someone less guarded. Looks like it worked like a charm.
It's one thing to trust that Miko has good intentions, but would you let your guard down around her?
Your concern is misplaced. I kept these matters to myself because I was unsure whether this incident is connected to the past, and I did not want to interfere with if the investigation reached an impasse, or new clues pointed to the nightmare from back then. Naturally, I would have discussed this
Intel, huh? It appears you still don't understand why I wanted you to open up in the first place.
Hmm?
Sounds like it came from outside. Let's check it out.
Okay, da haben wir die Badeszene bekommen, die geteased wurde im Livestream.
Oh no! Someone's unconscious!
It seems different in some respects. Step back and allow me to examine her.
What's going on? Oh my...
What happened just now? What frightened you?
Shogun...
It's all right. With the Shogun here, nothing can hurt...
I almost fainted again just now. Yes. I was on my way to your restaurant. And as I was crossing the bridge, I saw someone staring at me from behind a tree. It was hard to make out their appearance in the dark, but I had a bad feeling. So I tried to get a closer look in the moonlight. And it was me! In that moment, I thought about how people who see their doppelganger usually end up...
A doppelganger? In Inazuma City? But we only detected traces of the nightmare.
I heard that people encountered doppelgangers at Mount Yogo too! Could it be the work of some terrible yokai?
Now that we have an understanding of the situation, why don't I take you to the police station to file a report?
The situation is getting worse. If the doppelganger is limited to the festival grounds, that's one thing. But appearing on a random street in Inazuma City...
On the bright side, the victim seems okay this time.
Können das nicht auch zwei sein? Einfach nur ein Doppelgänger-Yokai, der sich halt umgucken will, weil jetzt das Fest ist, und halt der Albtraum-Yokai-Dings, der das Fest ruinieren will?
Bad news, Shogun!
A Tenryo Commission official?
Another victim at the festival. Kappa is...
What?
But Sara and the others were keeping watch.
Make haste. Back to Mount Yogo at once.
Okay, da war ein böser... Und Sarah war wieder vor Ort. Aha.
Kappa! Excuse me. Let me take a look.
Mizuki! Traveler! Finally, you're back!
Der Fehler liegt bei mir. Die Tenryo-Verwaltung hat es nicht geschafft, die uns anvertraut zu schützen.
Now is not the time to cast blame. Did anyone witness the attack?
Nein, wir haben euch enttäuscht. Vom Feind fehlt jede Spur.
We split up for just a second, and the next thing we knew, he was on the ground. Oh, it must be some
How is he, Mizuki?
It's strange. I can't perceive his nightmare. It's almost like...
The yokai! It must be getting stronger! Kappa...
No. It was I who underestimated the enemy. I who allowed us to continue the festival despite the potential dangers. Sarah, what is the status of the other contestants and staff? Good. By decree of the Shogun, I declare that the Mikawa Flower Festival is...
Wait.
What is it, Miko?
You're being too hasty, eh? I understand your concern for the people, but I urge you to think this through. Considering your history with nightmares, you have better cause than anyone to exercise caution. But do you truly believe that what we're facing now... Call it intuition. If you want the truth, perhaps Doshin Shikanoin could shed some light. I believe there's been a break in the case.
Bis jetzt haben wir nur rund um den Yuugei-Berg Spuren des Albtraummonsters gefunden. Und nun taucht ein Doppelgänger in der Stadt auf. Unsere ersten Vermutungen, dass der Täter sich in den Veranstaltungsort geschlichen hat, um einer Festnahme zu entkommen, aber dann gäbe es keinen Anlass, durch wiederholte Gestaltwandlung das Risiko einzugehen, entdeckt zu werden. Anstatt zu schlussfolgern, dass das Albtraummonster zu allem Übel nun auch noch die Fähigkeit hat, spurlos zu verschwinden, denke ich, dass es eine andere Möglichkeit gibt. Es ist eine andere Person. Das Albtraummonster und die Doppelgänger sind verschiedene Dinge. Sie haben unterschiedliche Ziele. Ja, weil sie zur selben Zeit und am selben Ort auftauchen, hat die Tenyo die beiden zunächst miteinander verwechselt. Aber wenn wir das Albtraummonster ignorieren und den Vorfall mit den Doppelgängern allein betrachten, wäre das Motiv des Täters leicht zu erraten. Die Legenden über Doppelgänger sind in der Summe weit verbreitet. Der Täter muss sich nur als jemand anderes ausgeben und die Leute werden sofort in Panik geraten. Er muss nicht einmal wirklich jemanden angreifen. Da die Tenyo-Verwaltung den Veranstaltungsort zu diesem Zeitpunkt bereits gesichert hatte, beschloss der Täter, in der Stadt aufzutauchen, um die Angst besser zu verbreiten. Der Täter hat die Stadt Inazuma als einen neuen Schauplatz gewählt hat, kann er sich nicht mehr dort aufhalten, wo er einst war. Um seine Spuren besser zu verwischen und noch mehr Panik zu schüren, wird er einen Ersatz am Veranstaltungsort zurücklassen müssen.
Kappa is made of wood?
No wonder I couldn't sense the nightmare.
I see. So the doppelganger infiltrated the festival as Kappa and is currently hiding in Inazuma City. Is that correct?
Kozo and his two friends were together the whole time, too. They would have noticed if someone was acting weird.
Man sagt, diese Art der Verwandlung habe eine besondere Schwäche. Wenn das Subjekt Angst hat, beginnt die Tarnung zu bröckeln. Stimmt das? Yoko und Hitotsume.
It's a Bakedaniki tail!
Kikaku! Kikaku! Run!
Tetsunosuke?
Aren't you supposed to be in Inazuma City?
Leave two by yourselves?
No fighting! Let's go!
Okay. Böse Tanuki. Die werden wir verprügeln.
Tanuki, those little terrors. Come on, let's go after them. Paimon's had enough of these things. What even are they? More Bakke Tanuki tricks?
Nothing's working. The humans are catching.
Little rascals! Stop running!
You wish.
Transform! Stupid humans won't be able to recognize us! You can't see me. You can't see me. I'm up on fire.
Tetsunosuke, you idiot! Don't tell them the three of us turned into bonfires!
Hear that, Traveler? Bonfires! 3 of them!
Ouch! Transform!
They're gone again! Oh, what are they this time?
Oh! Light Ichiro, protect us!
Save us, Tsukumo!
Niemand entkommt dem Pyro-Archon Hellrider.
We're almost rid of them.
Okay. Oh oh, ihr seid im Arsch. Ihr hättet mit mir mitkommen sollen.
Ah! Tengu! Tengu was flying! Tengu is a cheater!
Tengu, why are you helping the humans? Tengu is a yokai!
Shogun? That's the leader of the humans! Shogun sent people to steal our land! Shogun is bad!
Calm yourself, Sarah. Let's hear them out.
Shogun sent humans to steal our home!
And the Mikawa Flower Festival! Shogun is making yokai serve the humans!
Serve the humans? He's not talking about the game development, is he?
Shogun even forced Great Baku yokai to work all night!
Oh, you mean yesterday? That was my choice, actually.
Jeez, where are these ideas coming from?
Stay back! Humans want to enslave us again!
Hold on. Something's not right. We should try a different approach.
No need. I know what's wrong. They're trapped in a nightmare.
What are you doing? Trying to put Tetsunosuke to work?
Kinkaku doesn't want to stay up all night.
Servitude, enslavement? These might sound like ridiculous misunderstandings to us, but that is their reality right now. A world of despair and fear, where enemies lurk at every turn, devoid of even a single shred of light.
So, they're sleepwalking? How do we wake them up?
If we knew how, we would have done so back then.
Give us your worst! Kinkaku...
Truly?
What are you doing? No, don't!
Traveler Power. Mal gucken. Sag mir nicht, ihr kann den Albtraum absaugen. Wie die Abyss.
The humans are everywhere. We can't hide forever.
How long have we been hiding? 100 years?
No idea. If Yoroi was still around, he would
Shh, quiet! Someone's come.
This is a fine piece of land. The grain yield should be exceptional.
Remember to check for traces of yokai in the surrounding area. By order of the Shogun.
By order of the Shogun, we are to exterminate all yokai that cross our path.
Why so hasty? We should leave some alive. We can make them.
Hey,
You know about the Mikawa Flower Festival, right? I heard 50% of the profit is going to the development fund.
Oh yeah, the festival for humans.
The festival for humans, and humans alone. The yokai have had their fun.
That's right. We should put them to work.
No.
Quiet, or they'll catch up.
What? What is that?
Hey, are you alright? Yoko, Kappa, I need help over here! Hold on! We're coming!
The yokai and the humans are unconscious?
The same thing happened to all of them?
The Mikawa Flower Fest.
This yokai?
No, if we don't make it to the Mikawa Flower Festival, Boss Tama will eat us.
The humans are coming for us. We're gonna...
We infiltrate the Mikawa Flower Festival. We scare the humans away and then they won't come.
But how do we get it?
Boss Toma is the best!
How about...
Traveler! Traveler!
Are you all right, Traveler?
Where are...
Huh? The nightmare is gone. You purified it.
Humans! The Mikawa Flower Festival! The humans are gonna... They're gonna...
Oh, that explains all the Boss Toma this and Boss Toma that. That was the only thing they could imitate. Wait a second. Hitotsume Kozo and the others should be Akitsu Yuugei experts. But this time, Toma did all the work. Paimon can't believe we missed something so suspicious. Oh, you're saying Paimon's deductive reasoning is Hazel level.
Based on your description, Traveler, it's possible these Bake Danuki have been in hiding for 500 years. Sounds like they know Ioroi, too.
Why don't we... The protector of the grove. It's been 500 years since our last meeting. Sarah, Heizo, return to the festival to keep watch. The doppelganger incident has been resolved.
Schade. Ich hätte mich gefreut, wenn wir noch mal einen bösen Dämon bekommen haben zum Verprügeln.
Oh, keep it down. Bringing all these people at this hour. Don't you know even statues need to sleep? Shogun, I bow before thee. No, wait, shoot, I'm still a statue. What should I...
All is well, Ioroi, hidden protector of the grove.
Ah, that would be because when Ioroi tried to pluck a nakuweed from the Imperial Garden, A nearly split him in two, Yashiori Island style.
Keep it to yourself, you meddlesome kitsune.
Ioroi, I wish to ask you something.
Anything, Shogun. Absolutely anything. It is my honor to answer.
Suck up.
You could have at least slowed down a little. It took forever to convince them to come with me.
Oh, it's Ioroi! The humans really did kill you! Your body is stone!
Huh? I am not dead!
Not dead? The kitsune spoke the truth?
This smell is Ioroi! Ioroi is alive? Ioroi? The humans really did seal you away!
Wait, this must be Kinkaku, Ginkaku, and Tetsunosuke! You weren't sealed away?
when the humans, Kabuna Harunosuke, came to hurt us.
We ran and hid. The humans searched and searched. So many friends couldn't move. Our yokai powers were getting weaker.
So we decided to escape the human just as the great Bake Tanuki Tsukumo taught us, by digging a hole in the ground!
That's when we uncovered a horn filled with yokai power! It was the will of the great Bake Tanuki Kiichiro made manifest!
It restored our power, and then we made the human go, oh, oh, ching, yeah, yeah,
Oh, and by Ting Tune, yeah, you mean?
We tricked him and ran.
So, you didn't actually beat him up at all?
We've been using the horn to hide ever since. But there are too many humans. It's getting harder to hide.
A horn full of yokai power. Could that be the source of the nightmares? The reason the Bake Danuki are so afraid of humans? If the horn contained the fragment of a nightmare, using its power to hide would spread the nightmare to them. That means the Bake Danuki have been trapped inside this state of anxiety for 500 years.
Ha! I could have told you that nothing good would come from that horn. Using external power is against the Tanuki path.
We strayed from the path?
But the horn helped us hide from the humans. The humans tried to take our land.
On the contrary, the purpose of the investigation was to determine in advance if yokai were present on the land in question. Whether we avoid encroaching on yokai territory altogether, or attempt to reach a mutually beneficial agreement, a peaceful resolution was always the goal.
Oh, really?
Wait, that is what the humans said back then, isn't it?
By order of the Shogun, if yokai live here, we need to discuss the proposal.
Ginkaku Tetsunosuke. Not all humans are bad. Yellow Fur over there helped me a great deal, you know.
Besides, the Bake Danuki were only sealed away back then because Yoroi stole that comb.
Yoroi? It's a thief? Yoroi got what he deserved.
How was I to know it was used to make sacred Sakura Daifuku? I gave it back, didn't I?
So the humans were mean for no reason?
Well, if you must know, the young human and I fought. I was perhaps a tad careless, so I conceded the match. Anyway, the point is, neither side is bad.
There he goes again, changing the subject when it makes him look bad.
Now you know. No human is trying to harm you.
So, it was all a nightmare.
500 years in hiding? For nothing.
It was a 500-year-long game of hide and seek. What's so bad about that? Besides, you won.
Huh? We won? Go us! We're even better than Yoroi.
Hey, my game of hide and seek isn't over yet.
Wow, the mind of a Bake Danuki is something else. Still so cheerful even after all that.
That nature is what isolated them from the worst effects of the nightmare, and prevented them from causing any real harm. But a nightmare that's still affecting people after all this time? Who could it belong to?
Tainted by darkness, the Oni warrior raised her sword against the almighty Shogun. Losing an arm and a horn to the Shogun's blade, she fled into the forest, never to be seen again. A trusted lieutenant fighting against the forces of darkness, she was once devoured whole by a beast from beyond this world, with the body of a tiger and the tail of a serpent, until she tore the creature apart from within. Thus she earned the name Chiyo the Tiger Bite, or Tora Chiyo.
I don't think Chiyo would like that name. Though she escaped the belly of the beast alive, that battle never left her. She saw the memories of her fallen comrades everywhere, slaughtered one after another, until she could no longer distinguish dream from reality. The nightmare twisted every joy in her life, her subordinates, family, and friends, into enemies in need of destruction. It was in that state, trapped in the battlefield of her mind, that she raised her sword against me on Mount Yogo. With the Muso no Hitotachi, I cut off her arm, one of her horns, and a portion of the mountain itself. I suspect that is when the horn in question was buried there.
And subsequently uncovered by 3 Bake Danuki. That means the fragment on the horn comes from Chiyo's nightmare.
Nightmares feed on fear and anxiety. If what the traveler saw is true, it's possible Kinkaku and the others' fear over the past 500 years allowed the fragment to gain physical form and become something akin to a jibakure, an earthbound spirit. They move through the ley lines, but are also bound by them. That's why the traces of this entity appeared intermittently and never outside of Mount Yogo.
It would seem the fragment of this nightmare is no different from the one back then. It hates all joy and every good thing in this world. The investigation team working for a better future? Attacked. Hitotsume Kozo and his friends, kind enough to lend a helping hand? Attacked.
Yeah, and we were attacked too! Right when we were having fun with the play.
Perhaps it needs to regain strength after your defeat. Or perhaps it is biding its time because it knows, with whatever rationality remains, that it cannot defeat you. But sooner or later, its twisted hatred will force it out of hiding, and it will move to strike its enemy. When Chiyo set her sights on a target, she was never one to waver.
Oh.
But both possibilities prove something. Nightmare fragments can, and an enemy that can be killed is one that can be split in two by the power of Muso Ishin.
There's really no other way?
Mikoshi Chiyo is gone. A fragment of a nightmare tied to a severed horn. That is all that remains. The living must take precedent over the memory of the dead.
Oh, who cares about the dead anyway? I'm just trying to look out for the living.
What is that supposed to mean?
Oh, I'm just concerned about our poor Bake Danuki friends.
Huh?
The nightmare fragment has been tied to the Bake Danuki for nearly 500 years. Strike it down, and who's to say?
I beseech you, almighty Shogun, spare the young ones. It was just a moment.
Miko.
If you don't believe me, ask Mizuki and the Traveler. I'm sure they've encountered similar cases during their
Well... yes. During my studies both in Liyue and Natlan.
Then, what would you propose? This nightmare fragment is a constant threat to Inazuma. Should all—
If the fragment's hatred toward the world comes from a nightmare, then the most logical option is to get rid of the nightmare itself.
Right! Can't you just eat the nightmare, Mizuki?
The Yumekui Baku already tried that 500 years ago. Even yesterday, when faced with the corruption of the nightmare—
What was impossible back then is not necessarily impossible now. Why not use this entity's tricks against it? Combat illusions with illusions. Don't forget, there are yokai that specialize in shapeshift.
Where? Kinkaku doesn't see them anywhere.
Maybe they're hiding.
Fools! The Kitsune is clearly referring to the Bake Danuki.
Given their centuries-long connection to the nightmare fragment, they are perfectly positioned to create a dreamscape that the entity will be unable to distinguish from the real.
Back then, the nightmare had little to no weaknesses. If we want to give the Bakedanuki an opportunity to strike...
You said it yourself. Mikoshi Chiyo is gone. All that remains is a fragment of her nightmare, already broken and vulnerable. Besides, Mizuki is an old friend, one that is not to be underestimated. She has traveled the land studying dreams and is far more capable than those old fossils back then.
Oh, she just usually doesn't compliment me to my...
Once we perform the ritual, it will take some time for the barrier to take effect. Luckily for us, we have two formidable warriors on our festival representative, who also happens to have extensive experience against dark forces, and the almighty Shogun, unmatched in combat.
There's just one problem. Since this entity can pass through the ley lines, its movements are unpredictable. If we're going to create a barrier, how can we be sure?
The solution to that is obvious. If the night, then naturally, a joyous occasion would be an evil
So, if we want to lure it at...
The Mikawa Flower Festival!
What joy could possibly compare to finishing one's work right...
I would imagine we can all think of a few. But, once the enemy appears, I will pull them into the plane of Euthymia immediately. I will not put the people in... Traveler, I ask that you join me there, so we can...
All right. I will update everyone back at the festival and start the preparations for the ritual.
Looks like an all-nighter for me.
Well, this was your idea. Oh, and don't forget, you need to finish a little fox's daydream as well.
And in a surprising twist, you were my nightmare.
Oh meine Güte. Warum ist das so lange? Habe ich was übersehen? Habe ich aus Versehen beide Sachen gleichzeitig gestartet, ohne das zu wissen? Hallo? Das kann doch nicht... Wir sind bei über einer Stunde. Also ich habe mir gedacht, dass das erste Teil schon wieder sehr, sehr lang war. Mit, was war das, 46 Minuten? Aber jetzt sind wir schon wieder bei über einer Stunde. Für die vor dem letzten Tag dann gar nichts mehr in der Story lassen.
God should broaden their horizons in the world below.
Also ich nehme mal an, jetzt ist Pause und wir machen erst im nächsten Part weiter. Wir werden doch jetzt nicht schon irgendwas bekämpfen, oder?
Traveler, during the battle tomorrow, it is imperative you know your limits. If the enemy proves too much to handle, leave them to me. I know. I understand your concerns. Just... one more thing. Thank you.
Okay. Oh meine Güte. Okay, dann war das der Tag 2 oder die zweite Nacht vom Event. Und dann sehen wir uns zum letzten Teil in einem anderen Video wieder. Bis dahin, ciao Leute.